Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live stream and welcome to all the latest Chelsea transfer news. And boy, have we got a lot of news as always. All the latest developments with Mike Maignan. Last night, a deal was thought to be close. Chelsea was said to be preparing a 20 to 25 million pound offer for the France international. However, it subsequently transpired this morning that Chelsea only value Maignan at £8.5 million. Make of that what you will. So we're going to dive into all the latest on that. We're going to dive into the latest on interest in Mohammed Kudus. Chelsea believed to be one of the clubs interested in the West Ham forward who has a £85 million release clause active in the first 10 days of July for Premier League clubs. Chelsea do not need to sell Noni Madueke. And they're not actively trying to sell him either. We've also got the latest on a possible another player arriving from Strasbourg. Ismail Doucouré, the 21-year-old centre-back / defensive midfield player, could be on his way to Stamford Bridge this summer. Plus, loads more to get into. As always, guys, make sure you're smashing the likes. Subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff and get involved in the chat. Before I say hello to any of you lot, guys, just a quick reminder, check out Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Make sure you are looking fresh in the new Chelsea home kit this upcoming season. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Great quality, affordable prices, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want. Make sure you check it out. Jersey's FC Soccer Shop, code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Make sure you're looking fresh for the new season. And let's get this show on the road, people. Let's get it on the road. Let's say hello to a few of you lot in the chat. I'm back to Clear Lake out again. 8.5 million's offensive. I hear it, brother. I hear it. 8.5 mil. Yeah, I hear it. Yep. Yes, big up, big up. I knew it was PR. We ain't falling for this. Watch them sign that youth from Burnley, 100%. I tell you what, if Mike Maignan was from the Man City Academy, we'd have no problem paying the £25 million. We would have already done it. Yeah, bro, make it make sense. I absolutely hear all this stuff. I absolutely hear all of it. Exactly. Mate, that can't be ruled out. That can't be ruled out. Yes, big up, brother. Just pay the money. I agree. Bro, there's negotiating, right? If you value, if they want £25 million, you don't make it public knowledge that you only value said player at £8.5 million. If we are at, say, 12 to 15, then you could meet at 20 and maybe put 5 mil add-ons. But making it public knowledge, we only value the France #1 goalkeeper, a world-class goalkeeper, at £8.5 million is damn right embarrassing and disrespectful, in my opinion. No, I don't think so. It's just interesting, Kudus. I don't think we've got any intentions of paying over £85 million for Mohammed Kudus. I don't see it. Agree. Chelsea shouldn't miss him. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. But let's just dive straight into it, guys. Let's dive straight into it. So, you know, there was genuinely for a period yesterday where I thought, fuck, Chelsea is serious. We might be back. We've identified a world-class player in a position that needs desperately upgrading. There's a great deal to be done for 25 million pounds, and he makes a big difference to the team. And he can be the first part of that spine. A top goalkeeper is really important. I'm thinking, yeah, you know, this deal looks like it's getting done. Negotiations were advancing. Chelsea was said to be preparing an offer. And then we start getting rumblings that Chelsea aren't prepared to pay the £25 million for Mike Maignan. I'm thinking, okay, fair enough. Maybe we want to go 15 or 20. And then it gets confirmed by Fabrizio Romano that Chelsea and AC Milan are not close on valuation for Mike Maignan. AC Milan want around 30 million euros. Chelsea won't pay that as they value Maignan at 10 million euros because he's out of contract in 2026. Chelsea won't wait longer than Monday as they're also happy with 4 goalkeepers in their squad. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. So we're happy with the 4 goalkeepers in our squad, but we're actively trying to buy a new #1. So that doesn't make sense either, does it? How can you be happy with what you've got, but you've gone out there to go and actively try and sign someone who's way better than them all? So how does that work to begin with? We're then briefing, goalkeepers could be sold. The next minute, we're hearing Enzo Maresca's approved the Maignan transfer. He thinks he's perfect for the system and he wants him. You know, we need someone better with build-up. And then we're hearing that then suddenly we're happy with the goalkeepers. And then we'll walk away from trying to sign another goalkeeper if Milan don't accept fucking 10 million euros for Maignan, which is insulting. Absolutely insulting. And whether people can pick and choose what they want to believe. But ultimately, guys, at the end of the day, what's very, very clear here is that Chelsea only value Maignan at 10 million euros. That's 30 million euros, so 25 million quid. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 at some point, either this year or next year. You know, this is just a no-brainer. £25 million is not overpaying for a world-class goalkeeper who is going to bring you so much more than £25 million with what he will offer and contribute to the team. This is what I don't understand. You know, won't pay 20 to 25 million pounds for Mike Maignan. But let me just hear this correctly. We paid 20 million for Carney Chukwuemeka. We paid 20 million for Cesare Casadei. Gabriel Slonina cost 15 million pounds. We spent over 20 million on David Washington. We spent 15 million pounds on Matisse Mugu, 15 million on Ansel Mino, 19 million on Kellyman, 12 million pounds on Caleb Wiley. All players who have either come and gone or all players who have got no future at Chelsea and haven't contributed to the first team whatsoever. But yet we value Mike Maignan at 8.5 million. It stinks. It absolutely stinks. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. You know, it really, really is. And do you know what? This might be an overreaction. But the last time, it might be an overreaction. And even if we do end up meeting in the middle for Maignan, what's the point in leaking that information to the media that we only value him at £8.5 million? Either way, it's insulting. And it just makes Chelsea look really, really stupid. We basically value Mike Maignan at the same amount of money as Real Madrid valued getting Trent a month early. Madrid paid 10 million euros to get Trent Alexander-Arnold a month early for the Club World Cup. We think Mike Maignan is worth 10 million euros. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Exactly. We spent, this is the point. Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about this. We paid £25 million for Sanchez. We paid £20 million for Jorgensen. We spent 20 million on Penders, 14 million on Petrovic. We spent 15 million on Slonina, and yet we're drawing the line at 20 to 25 million pounds on Maignan. I don't get it. But the thing is, right? Yes, Italian clubs do that. But what I would also come back to that with is that Chelsea are not being asked. Milan, it's not like Milan are charging 50 or 60 million pounds for a player in the last year of their contract. I could understand that a little bit more. I could hear that a little bit more. They're asking for 25 million pounds. Okay, you might not want to pay the asking price. You might want to try and haggle it down to 20 or something. But does anyone honestly here honestly think that 25 million pounds is a ridiculous amount of money to spend for Mike Maignan? Does anyone here, and chat, let me know, get your thoughts in there. Do any of you lot think that 25 million pounds is an outrageous price to pay for Mike Maignan, and we should be trying to pay less? Who honestly thinks that 25 million is a ridiculous deal? Because it's not. It's not. And yeah, this could be an overreaction, chat. I hear it. I hear it. And it's a valid point. But I cannot get the thought out of my mind of the last two top-class players we tried to sign, and we absolutely fucked it. Michael Olise, we fumbled big time. Victor Osimhen, we fumbled big time. Those were the last two genuine world-class players that we tried to sign, and we fumbled it. So forgive me for being slightly concerned that we are potentially going to fumble this as well. Let's make no mistake about it. Milan wanted 8. So when 2 seasons ago, when we were linked with 2 seasons ago, when we were linked with Mike Maignan under Pochettino, and we also linked with Andre Onana that summer. He's France's number 1. We were also linked with Andre Onana that summer, right? Someone, please tell me, for someone that was valued at 80 million euros 2 seasons ago. Let's be real. With a year left on his contract, right? Okay, he's obviously not worth as much as Milan would like to think they can get. But market value for Maignan is probably 50 or 60 million quid. We're getting an absolute bargain, you know. And then I get it. And then we're putting deadlines of Monday on it. Like, Milan have just sold Tijani Reinders to Manchester City. How desperate are they for money? They probably need money. They're obviously sounding out alternatives to Petrovic. And look, if you can get £20 million, no problem. Yeah, and Maresca does view Maignan as a key target. So I don't really get what's going on here. No, Maignan market value is probably 50 to 60 million. We're in a unique situation here where he's got a year left on his contract, so we can get him for significantly less than what he's worth. Yes, the last couple of seasons haven't been the best for Maignan. But why are we penny pinching on a deal like this? Why? That's what I'd like to know, chat. Why are we penny pinching on a deal for Mike Maignan? Yeah, we'll have a look now. This is just standard negotiation. Milan are absolutely desperate and will give in. Their best player by far was sold for 40 million as per reports. Maignan must be sold or let go for free. Yeah, I get it that Milan are not in a strong negotiating position, but they're also not in that bad a position that they would need to accept £8 million from us. So let's wait and see. I mean, we've got multiple different people saying different things here. If we bring up the latest from Ben Jacobs on Mike Maignan, let's have a quick look here. And then I will get to the Simon Phillips stuff. Don't worry, guys. Situation with Mike Maignan remains the same. Milan want 20 to 25 million, as reported yesterday. Chelsea likely to offer less. Of course they are. But add-ons may prove important if the parties can get closer on the financials. Maignan is an opportunistic target, but Chelsea also remain content with their existing keepers and will still rank them during the Club World Cup and pre-season as planned. The real priority is still a left winger. It will all come down to whether Milan wish to risk losing Maignan on a free or feel other suitors will be tempted by their asking price. Player open to CFC. So he's open to the move. Yet we are potentially going to run the risk of allowing other clubs to get involved. Because I'm telling you right now, there will be other clubs out there who won't think twice about spending £25 million on Mike Maignan. Now, we have essentially got an open goal here. We've essentially got an open goal here to go and sign a world-class goalkeeper, and we seem to be doing our absolute best to try and fumble the bag. Now, we may well end up getting him. We may well end up getting him, which would be fantastic. And I would applaud that signing, because it would be a brilliant signing for us. And it would be a massive, massive upgrade on a player that in a position that we desperately need. And he could start to form the spine of the team. However, I am concerned that we are wasting time doing this. You know, this is a deal that could easily be wrapped up. But so why is it not wrapped up? That's what I want to know. This is a deal that we could have easily wrapped up by now, or be well on the way to wrapping up, and yet we're seemingly we're seemingly fucking about. You know, we're trying to get exactly what we want. I mean, Delap has signed, by the way. I mean, we're just waiting for the official announcement. Maybe they're trying to get it down, so they're going to pay they're trying to pay £29 million instead of the £30 million release clause. Maybe that's a delay on. Mate, I hope so. I really hope so. But forgive me for worrying that we might fumble this again. Forgive me for worrying that we could fumble this. I mean, it's up to you. I would believe what Fabrizio says on this. Even Sky reported that Chelsea weren't prepared to pay the valuation. So there is truth in the fact that Chelsea aren't prepared to pay the valuation. Whether you believe this 10 million euros valuation or not, at the end of the day, what's very clear, chat, is that Chelsea are not prepared to pay the valuation. That's the reality. Yeah, exactly. But then you could guarantee that if we were going for James Trafford, we'd pay £30 million, no problem. If Mike Maignan was Brazilian and called like Mike Maignandinho or something, we would have paid £25 million. And if he was 18 or whatever, we would have done it. So I get it. You know, there's a year left on the deal. You want to get the best deal possible. I hear it. But £25 million is not overpaying. It's not overpaying for a player of this quality. It simply isn't. It simply isn't. Nah, mate, he's not. He's not. He's very, very good. You know, with especially this summer, he's been outstanding with everything for Chelsea. He's one of the best for Chelsea news. He's absolutely one of the best for Chelsea news. Yes, big up, big up. Yeah, we can be strong in the chase, but ultimately, unless we can reach an agreement on price, it doesn't make any difference, does it? You know, it doesn't make any difference. Yeah, Maignan can want the move. That's fine. Maignan can want the move. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if we can't come to an agreement on a deal with Milan, then it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. But look, I hope that this is just, you know, a simple negotiation tactic, and we can move on. And I'll get to that Jamie Gittens stuff later as well. I hope that it's just a negotiation tactic, and you know, we'll get the price that we want, and we can get Maignan in time for the Club World Cup. But what I don't understand is that I don't know, chat, by the way, and this is spot on from Matisse, by the way. Big up to Matisse. Bro, I'm not happy with Sanchez next season. I'm not happy with Sanchez next season at all. I've made it clear many, many times. I do not want Robert Sanchez anywhere near Chelsea Football Club next season. But big up to Matisse, by the way, because this is spot on from Matisse. Because he's put this out there, and chat, let me know what you think of this, because I think there could be some truth in this. My feeling is Chelsea don't actually want to sign Maignan, but want to look like they want him. That's the only reason you go in with such a disrespectful offer. The player and club get insulted and the deal breaks down. We tried to sign a top player C, guys. Super Sanchez stays. I mean, who disagrees with that? Because I'd like to say that's a bit cynical, and that's maybe being very negative. But ultimately, I wouldn't completely rule that out, because it's the last lines in a lot of the briefings that are coming out this morning that are saying Chelsea view Maignan as a market opportunity, but they're also happy with their current goalkeepers. So what is it? What is it, guys? No, but there's penny pinching and there's penny pinching. You know, a £25 million valuation and then you valuing someone at £8.5 million. That's next level penny pinching. That's not penny pinching and we're looking and we're maybe £5 million apart in valuation. We're 15, we're about 13 or 14 million pounds apart in our valuation, you know, and this wouldn't be the first time that we've been linked with an experienced player and then we fumble it. This would not be the first time, chat. You know, we've had briefs saying that Chelsea prepared to sort of break their model to sign the right player, and yet we've seen no evidence of it. We get evidence of it. We think, wow, okay, maybe things have changed. And then we get stuff like this, that we're haggling over price and we're putting a disrespectful valuation, a wholly disrespectful valuation, an insulting situation. Insulting. Utterly insulting. So maybe we don't even want him at all. I don't know if we've fallen for it again. Look, ultimately, at the end of the day, we don't get Maignan, and if we keep Petrovic and he's number one, I haven't got a problem with Petrovic being number one. I've not got an issue with Petrovic being number one. But I would just be pissed off if we fumble this. Yeah, Chelsea interest is genuine and Maresca could have approved it. Sure, absolutely. But it doesn't mean that they're going to get the deal done. It doesn't mean that they're going to get the deal done, chat. And yeah, you know. No, but you can call it negotiation. Fine. Yeah, and maybe it is part of a negotiation. But why are we briefing that information that we only value him at £8.5 million? Why is that public knowledge? That should never be public knowledge that we value him at £8.5 million, because that really puts us in a. That doesn't do us any favors. It doesn't do us any favors. You know, that does us no favors. And then why are we briefing as well that, you know, Maresca's approved the target, Chelsea want Maignan, negotiations are going well, and that's being reported last night. And then today, it's like, oh well, we don't see value, we don't meet eye to eye on the valuation, and we're gonna have to meet in the middle. Chelsea aren't going to put a silly offer up. Of course they're not. They're absolutely not going to put a silly offer up. No, the reason why is because the last time, and look, yeah, I've already said before, this might be an overreaction, which is a fair point and a valid point. However, what I would say to that is that, as I said before, if you weren't in the show, is that the last time we tried to sign the last two top class players we tried to sign, we fucked it. Michael Elise and Victor Osimhen. Those are the last two world-class players that we tried to sign, and we fumbled it. So forgive me for feeling a little bit on the negative side of things that we might be about to fumble it again. I hope that I'm wrong, but yeah. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, look, if we'd gone in with, say, 12 or 15 million or whatever, and that was our valuation, then you think, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, no, look, what I mean is in terms of we're not going to offer like 30 million quid. But yeah, I honestly feel it's ridiculous. And my issue with it is, right, is that even if we do meet in the middle and we get a deal for 15 or 20 million pounds, what was the need for our valuation, which is an embarrassing valuation? Why did that need to be made public? Why was that information released by the club or by people close to the club or close to negotiations? Why was that? Why was that? Why did that happen? That's what I'd like to know. Well, we had to. Well, almost we did, because we paid way more than we should have done for Caicedo because we fucked about. And Enzo Fernandez, we had to get Egbali involved because we spent all January negotiating and we almost fumbled that as well. So that wasn't plain sailing in negotiations either. Eventually, we got those deals done. And so that was a good thing. Bro, you do realise that Fabrizio gets his information from the club. He hasn't just made that up. He hasn't just made that up. That's not him just going, oh, Chelsea think he's worth this. That information is come from the club, and it's come from people close to the deal. That's not just a journalist making something up. That's not how this works. Bro, they don't want Felix. I mean, look, Milan are also looking at Petrovic as an option to replace Maignan if he does go. No, they do. Yeah, of course they do. But the very best don't do that. The very best don't make stuff up. And Fabrizio, Ornstein, they are the goats, the best of the best. They don't make stuff up. They don't make stuff up. They get information from the clubs and whatnot, and they don't make things up. Journalists absolutely do make things up. That's not being disputed, but to say that Fabrizio's made that up, I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. Not at all. Yes, big up, big up, big up. But anyway, people are banging on about this Simon Phillips tweet. Let's just quickly get to it now. There are good relations between Chelsea and AC Milan. Chelsea are yet to make an offer for Mike Maignan, but they would be willing to pay 25 million euros. AC Milan want 30, but a gap in valuation will not be a problem. Chelsea are strong in their chase for Maignan. So what's going on here? This is what I don't understand. So this is from an Italian source, right? So what is it? We are prepared to pay it, or we aren't? Or does no one really know what's going on here? I think, obviously, you have transfers with silly season. There's going to be all sorts of mixed reports are going to be out there. But I think ultimately, at the end of the day, what the most obvious thing is that Chelsea aren't prepared to pay the valuation. So we're going to have to try and meet somewhere in the middle. What I don't understand, though, why have we put a deadline of Monday on it? Obviously, we've got to sign players by June 10th to get them in for the Club World Cup. I fully understand that. But why is there a deadline of Monday on it, chat? That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't get. Sure, but Milan could also just allow him to leave for nothing. You know, they could also allow him to leave for nothing, or they play the game and they hope that other suitors come in that will pay that valuation. Nah, bro, we can't mess this deal up. We absolutely can't. Because you can guarantee if we mess this deal up, and listen to what I'm saying, if we mess this deal up, I cannot wait for the briefing saying that Maresca really likes the goalkeepers he's got. He's delighted with Petrovic. He always wanted Petrovic to be the number one, and all this nonsense. You know, I cannot wait for that. Cannot wait for that. You know, you've got. I mean, Maignan makes sense, but I don't understand. Why are we willing? Can someone please chat? Does anyone know why are we willing to walk away on Monday? Why? Why are we putting a Monday deadline on it? Because if you want the goalkeeper and you want the world-class player, why are you putting a deadline on it? That's what I don't understand. Why is there a deadline on it? I mean, look, the deadline is it the 10th? It's not the 10th on Monday. The 10th, when is the 10th of June, chat? In 6 days. So 10th of June is in 6 days. So we got if we want Maignan at the Club World Cup, we've got 6 days to sign him. So let's wait and see. But 29 years old is not old for a goalkeeper. We've got 6 days to get Maignan through the door if we want him for the Club World Cup. Reports are saying that Chelsea aren't prepared to meet the valuation. They value him at £8.5 million, whereas Milan want £25 million. No, I'm not suggesting there is a long line for him, but the longer you leave it, the more chance you add of other clubs coming in and potentially losing out. At the end of the day, we're football fans. We're not accountants. Sign the best players. Keep it stepping. Keep it stepping. Obviously, don't do ridiculous things that are going to absolutely fuck us financially, but sign the best players and keep it stepping. Too many fans are acting like they're accountants and it's their money and whatnot. But as a football club, you should be looking to sign the best players and just get those deals done. Simple. Really, really simple, chat. Chelsea and Milan have a big gap for Pulisic. Chelsea wanted 25. Look, I've said before, maybe I am. Maybe I am. But the reason why, chat, is because of what's happened previously when we last tried to target top players. That's why I'm feeling concerned about it. Don't joke about these things, bro, because it can't be officially ruled out. Because we're putting the pressure on them because they're about to lose him without no money next season. Yeah, but maybe they'll take the gamble, lose him for free, or maybe they'll look to agree a new deal now that Max Allegri's in. Ultimately, we are dealing with ifs and buts at the moment, but history would suggest that we could fumble this. That's all I'm saying, chat. That's all I'm saying. No, Delap's done. Delap's done. I don't see there being any danger of the Delap deal collapsing. Absolutely none whatsoever, chat. Absolutely none whatsoever. By the way, people, there's 330 of you in the building. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new round here as well. We're only on 112 likes. This should be on 200. So smash that like button and subscribe as well. Road to 20K. Every new subscriber really helps, guys. We greatly appreciate it. Yep, I know. And this is exactly that. You know, the amount of money we signed Petrovic and Sanchez in 2023. We signed Jorgensen and Penders in 2024. 2025 summer, we're looking to go for another goalkeeper. If we sign Mike Maignan, that's 5 goalkeepers we've signed in the last 3 windows. It's mental. From today. And we signed Slanina as well for, I think I can't remember how much we paid for him. No, yeah, obviously the longer you leave it, for sure. But why are Chelsea setting a deadline, though? You know, what are they in a rush for? I get it, you know, yes, other clubs could come in. But instead of setting by setting a Monday deadline, that makes it seem like we're not really prepared to budge that much in negotiations. Nah, bro, it won't collapse. Yeah, we'll get on to Kudus in a sec. Again, if David Ornstein didn't speak on this, then I won't believe anything about it. Fair enough. But it's obviously Ornstein only speaks when he speaks in absolutes, which is absolutely fine. But Ornstein speaks in absolutes, chat. And yeah, he's not mentioned anything yet. That is true. Yes, big up, brother. I'm concerned because we do have a history of fumbling deals. Yeah, no, we do have a history of fumbling deals. Yeah, no, look, I've always said transfer fee. Chelsea have never had an issue of transfer fees. Never had an issue of transfer fees, Chelsea. But and it's mainly been wages. Magnan's wages won't be an issue. Transfer fee here is obviously a concern right now. Obviously a concern right now. But again, you know, this is what I'm saying, chat. Like, I get it. This is negotiations, right? But like Gerard said, we cannot let this slip. We cannot let this slip because 25 million euros is an absolute bargain. 29 years old is not old for a goalkeeper. Allegri's the new AC Milan manager. You know, he's going to come in telling Maignan how important he's going to be for the project. We do have to be careful. We have to be careful. And we need to close this fast. That's all I'll say on that matter now. Let's wait and see how this one pans out, chat. But mixed reports at the moment. Just please don't fumble it, Chelsea. Please do not fumble. Yeah, probably. I know. Yeah, he probably would have done. Probably would have done. Where's that being reported? Well, it's not about Allegri wanting to let him go. It's more about, does Mike Maignan want to leave? There's obviously no football, no European football at Milan. So yeah, it is clearly an issue, chap. It is clearly an issue. Yeah, look, sure, maybe we do, but the opportunity to get a world-class goalkeeper in cannot be passed up on because these opportunities come through very, very rarely. Very, very rarely. But let's move on to let's move away from Mike Maignan. Let's wait and see what happens. Hopefully we can come to an agreement, because this would be an outrageous fumble, even by our standards. And we got news on Jamie Gittens. Chelsea are in for Borussia Dortmund winger Jamie Gittens, but told they're not putting themselves under pressure to get it done before the Club World Cup. Talks continuing. 20-year-old Englishman available for around 50 million this summer. I'm not convinced that. Yeah, true. I mean, look, Gittens. We had some news at the start of the week that Gittens would be like, Chelsea want Gittens before the Club World Cup. Now we're hearing they're not in a rush to get it done before the Club World Cup. Fabrizio Romano's reported that Chelsea negotiations are going well for Gittens. They're hopeful of doing a deal for around £30 million with add-ons. So there seems to be a bit of a gap in valuation there as well. There seems to be a bit of a gap in valuation there, chat. So I'm not too sure what's going on here. Because it was reported that Chelsea think they can do a deal for 30 million plus add-ons. So again, I'm just not sure about Gittens. But as we've said before, chat, the left wing market is poor. The left wing market is poor. But, let's have a look, because we spent 30 million on Delap. If you can get Maignan for 25 million, great. If you get Gittens for 30 million as well, what's that? 30, and 25. 85 million. So that could be, and this is a big if, but that could be 3 players, legitimate talents, obviously different ages, different stages of their careers, but that's 85 million pounds for legit talent with different experience levels. And that's the sort of stuff you should be seeing the sporting directors doing. But again, it's big ifs. But this is the report. So he's saying that Kieran Gill's saying that is available for around £50 million this summer. Chelsea not putting themselves under pressure to get it done before the Club World Cup. But seeing as the Club World Cup is basically going to be pre-season, I'm pretty sure that you'd want most of that done. You'd want most of that done. You'd want most of that done. So we will we'll wait and see. So if you're going to do Gittens right, why would you not have him playing at the Club World Cup? Because that's essentially pre-season. Negotiations are going well for Jamie Gittens. A first bid is expected soon, more than 30 million, with a little bonus to try and reach an agreement with Dortmund. So this looks like it's stepping in the right direction. Look, I can't say I'm particularly happy about it. I don't think it's a particularly exciting signing, but it's a very Chelsea signing. It's clear that with Sancho leaving, we're going to probably Gittens will be the winger, and then we'll look to get one or two more. We'll look to get one or two more in. But yeah, it's pretty. It's just not the most exciting, chat, is what I'd say. Not the most exciting, but it is what it is at the end of the day. There's not really too much that we can do about it. By the way, 294 in the building, 143 likes. Chat, keep smashing the like button. It really helps me out, spreads the stream to more people, helps in the algorithm. So let's run it up. Let's get this to the 200 likes mark. And of course, chat, please keep subscribing if you are new round here. I would really, really appreciate it, guys. Win, lose, or draw, blue go out. Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, Marina did some shit stuff as well. Marina wasn't the best either. We have to be honest. I don't get it how we're not willing to pay 25 million for a world-class keeper, but yeah, we don't have any problem smashing the cash. Yeah, bro, I hear it. Yeah, and this is the problem. This is the problem. If it's not Gittens, then who is it going to be? And that is that's a legitimate issue. That is absolutely a legitimate issue. If it's not going to be Gittens, then there is a problem there. Being reported we're taking Paez to the Club World Cup. Yeah, we are going to take Paez to the Club World Cup. But I think the plan is still for him to go on loan, chap. I think it's still a plan for him to go on loan to Strasbourg. I hope not. I hope not. But the Garnacho stuff isn't really going away, is it? The Garnacho stuff is not really going away. But look, if you're in for Gittens, right, and you're in for these players, Gittens, Maignan, etc. If you are in for these guys, I just don't understand why would you not want them in for the Club World Cup? That's what I don't get. Because if you don't sign before June 10th, which is next Tuesday, you won't be able to play at the Club World Cup. Now, whether you can add new players to the squad once it starts, I've got no idea. So let's just take June 10th as the hard deadline to feature and play in the competition, which basically, chat, is going to form the bulk of the pre-season campaign. So according to what I'm reading here, Chelsea can register 50 players in a provisional squad, and then it's cut down to a 35-man squad for the actual tournament. So if players aren't signed before the provisional squad is sent in, then they obviously can't play. So what basically happens here is, chat, is that anyone signed by Chelsea after June 10th might not play until August. That's mental. Anyone who might not play until... So anyone that signs after June 10th, if that does happen, they might not play until August, chat, which is mad. Absolutely mad. What benefit does it have of not signing Gittens before the Club World Cup? You sign Gittens after the deadline for the Club World Cup, and this guy is probably not going to play until August. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? I mean, where have you heard that? Because I've not seen that reported anywhere. I'm not saying it's not true, but I've not seen that anywhere. You know, I've not seen that anywhere. So I don't know if they can or can't be registered. But the point is that if they can't be, it's in our best interest to get as many deals done before the Club World Cup, chat, as possible. We need as many deals done before the Club World Cup as possible. We must. We absolutely must, chat. We must. It really is as simple as that. I don't know what... I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what we're doing here, but Kudus, not Kudus, Gittens looks like he's coming. Because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Where's that set? Where's that being said? Yeah, I mean, look, I can't wait for the first bid for Ekitike to go in. I can't wait for that first Ekitike bid to go in of £25 million. Can't wait for that bid. Maybe it's like other tournaments where you can register after the group stage. The only issue with that is that potentially we might only have 1 or 2 games after the group stage, because if we get knocked out in the round of 16, it's 1 game. Quarterfinals, maybe 2. If we made semis, it's 3. You know, you're probably looking at 2, maybe 3 games tops if you register them after the group stage. Now, Chelsea are expected to ask Liam Delap to choose the Club World Cup over 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 representing England at the European Under-21 Championships. That's what Chelsea are expected to do. They're expected to ask Delap to do that. Whether Delap decides to do that or not, we are going to wait and see. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting one. But yeah, let's just hope we can get Gittens in. I'm not overly excited by Gittens, but it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know where he is. I don't know where Delap is. It's done. I'd expect an announcement anytime soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. But yeah, it's peak, chap. It's peak. I hope that's not the case, bro. I hope that's not the case. Yep. No, I hear it, bro. I absolutely hear it. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't be surprised at all. No, absolutely not. Unless they're literally a squad player and they're barely playing, then no, they wouldn't. But yeah, anyway, let's move away from Gittens because the negotiations seem to be going well. Let's wait and see if we get Gittens in before the Club World Cup. That's going to be the next question, chat. Do we get Gittens in before the Club World Cup? That's what we're going to need to see. That's what we're going to need to see. But anyway, moving away from Jamie Gittens, chat, because there's also reportedly interest in. Let me just find it now. Interest in Mohammed Kudus. And this is reported by the Daily Mail. Chelsea are among the clubs keen on West Ham's Mohammed Kudus, who has an £85 million clause for Premier League clubs, active for the first 10 days of July. I mean, look, Chelsea have been linked with Kudus before. A couple of years ago, we were linked with Kudus when he was at Ajax before he joined West Ham. Ultimately, in that summer, we ended up signing Cole Palmer. So I don't really think we missed out. But obviously, clearly, Kudus is still a player we admire. But at the end of the day, chat, £85 million, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No chance. I think the likes of Newcastle are interested as well. But yeah, look, a move for Kudus doesn't really make sense. Yes, he's someone who could be a replacement for Christopher Nkunku in the squad. He's absolutely someone that could replace Christopher Nkunku in the squad. I mean, look, Kudus can play on the right, can play left, can play as an attacking midfielder, and can play down the middle, which are all important positions. All important positions. But at that price, it literally doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. He's not had a good season this season. Obviously, dropped off compared to his first season at the club. Kudus is probably worth 50, 60 million pounds tops, in my opinion. That's probably what he's worth, 50 to 60 million. But that's the clause in the contract. Now, I've got no idea how serious our interest is. I've got no idea how much how much room for negotiation there is on that clause, if you can get it down or not. I don't know. But yeah, there's certainly a problem, chap. I don't think we're gonna. For me, I don't see this happening. I like Kudus, good player, ticks a lot of boxes for Chelsea, versatile front player. No, Noni's not gone. Noni's not gone. People in the chat saying Noni's gone that isn't true. No, Palace haven't signed Noni Madueke, chat. Palace have not signed Noni Madueke. I don't know why people think Madueke is shit. He's not. He was our best winger this season. Whether people want to agree with that or not, he was our best winger this season, chap. There's no denying it. He was better than Neto. He was better than Sancho. He was our best winger this season. That's not even a controversial thing to say. Sancho wasn't our best winger. He wasn't. He wasn't. Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, we need to improve. We need to improve, but no, Neto wasn't better than him. Neto had a strong end to the season, but I don't understand where all this Madueke slander is coming from. I don't know where all this Madueke slander is coming from, to be honest, chap. I don't really get it. But Kudus, yeah, okay, Chelsea is said to be interested. For me, there's no way we make a move for Mohammed Kudus. As much as I think he'd be a good player, and Felix and Nkunku are both going. Sancho's gone. Madueke could leave. Who knows? We'll obviously be looking for another wide player. Sure, bro. Yeah, okay. He didn't play well in the final. But you're basing his whole season on the final. You're highlighting one game where he didn't. You're highlighting the final where admittedly he was poor. But that means that he should be sold because he was crap in the final. I'm not saying that he should be starting every week for Chelsea, but he's more than good enough to be a squad player for us. More than good enough to be a squad player. He simply hasn't been shit for us. If people look, you can, whether you think the improvement's been enough is a separate conversation, but saying outright he's been shit all season is just not true. It just isn't true. Yeah, there are better players than Madueke. Absolutely, there's better players than Madueke. I've never denied that. Never denied that there's not better players than Madueke. But what you need to understand is, chat, okay, let's say Madueke goes. Do you trust Chelsea to bring in someone who is a considerable upgrade on Madueke? Let me ask you that question. Do you trust the club to bring in someone who is a considerable upgrade on Madueke? No, I personally don't. I personally don't. Yeah, bro, we're not getting Kudus. We're not getting Kudus. Well, I also don't see us getting Malik Fofana either. Bro, Pete, look, I like Esteval, by the way, and he's got a lot of potential. But let's stop pretending that he's going to come in and be some sort of world beater from day one and he's ready to take the Premier League by storm. Because that's just not true. That's just not true. Because we know full well that if Madueke is sold, we'll just go and sign some 19 or 20-year-old who isn't even better than him. That's the reality here. That's the reality here. Yeah, maybe at some point he will. Maybe at some point he will. But people expecting Esteval to come in and make an instant impact from day one is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We shouldn't be putting the kid in that position where he's expected to contribute from day one. He shouldn't be placed in that position, chap. No way. No way should he be put in that position. He should be bedded in, starting a few games here and there, cup games and whatnot. There should not be the pressure and expectation for him to come in from day one and contribute. That shouldn't be there. But look, if people look at the end of the day, I'm not trying to convince people to change their opinion on Madueke. All I'm saying is that he's nowhere near as shit as what people are making it out. Nowhere near as shit as what people are making out. Nowhere near as shit. But isn't that the same? Isn't that the same for all players? But anyway, let's move away from that because there's some other news here. And of course they are. Blueco are prepared to break the Ekstraklasa League record of more than 11 million euros to sign wonderkid defender Bright Eady. Or Ed. Bright Eid. What is the Ekstraklasa League? Apologies if I... it's the... Oh, yes, of course. Of course they are. Chelsea are looking to sign an 18-year-old Polish wonderkid for 11 million euros. But we can't spend 25 million euros on Mike Maignan. But we could absolutely be prepared to break the Polish record on a player we don't even need, who's probably never going to play for the club. But we can do 11 million euros on him, but we're not prepared to do it on anyone else. Honestly. What is? Let's read this. A sensational transfer in the Ekstraklasa is a possibility. Chelsea have begun talks with Motor Lublin regarding the signing of Bright Eid. The 18-year-old could break the league transfer record. They finished 7th in the Polish league last season. Fantastic achievement. There's great interest in Eid from Premier League clubs and other top teams from the top 5 leagues in Europe. The matter is getting really serious. According to our information, Chelsea are very keen to sign the teenage defender and want to close the deal quickly due to wide interest in the player, including from their direct competition. As we have established, direct talks between the English and Motor began on the occasion of the Conference League final. Of course we were. We couldn't take a trip to Poland without having a conversation about a Polish teenager, could we? We couldn't. We couldn't help ourselves, chat. And these are no means inquiries about the player, but transfer negotiations regarding the amount and conditions of the acquisition. The parties met in one of the hotels in the capital of Lower Silesia. We hear that the Stamford Bridge Club is to send an offer for him in the coming days, and the matter will be decided in June. Eddie only played 6 matches in the Polish league, but the transfer fee could be a record-breaking 11 million euros. The club already have got a specific plan for him. Of course they do. He'd first join Strasbourg on loan. Of course he would. They literally only signed him for 100,000 euros in January. And he's played 6 matches so far and scored 1 goal. So they paid 100,000 euros for him in January. And now they're going to play 6 months later, they're going to pay 11 million euros for him. Nah, get out of here. Get out of here. Seriously. Just put that 11 million euros towards signing Mike Maignan. Come on. Are we serious here? I mean, honestly. No, I don't think he is. I don't think he is. Really, but we don't need him to do that. Look how many defenders we've got. This is just the signing with the idea of flipping for a profit. Let's be real. Why are we signing this guy when we've got Mamadou Sarr coming? We've got Anselmino as well. Why are we signing this guy? For what reason? For what reason? Because we've got Levi, we've got Fofana. We're probably going to sign someone else. Why do we need this guy? We signed Anselmino. We signed Mamadou Sarr. I don't get it. Maybe they're going to sign him as a replacement for Strasbourg. I really don't know. But what I do know is, chat, we're 25 likes away from 200. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Keep smashing those likes, chat. Keep smashing those likes. And subscribe if you are new around here. That would be greatly appreciated. But let's close in on the 200 likes mark. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that, chat, because why not? Because why not? Why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we do that? But anyway, that's enough about potentially breaking the record for Polish players. Oh, I mean, ultimately, it'd surely be a Strasbourg signing. It has to be a Strasbourg signing. You know, Paez and Amugu probably go to Strasbourg. You know, we've still got Penders and Anselmino who need loans as well. So, yeah, look, it has to be a Strasbourg signing. It must be a Strasbourg signing. But anyway, it is what it is, chat. It is what it is. But I think it is a Strasbourg. It will be a Strasbourg signing. What other news is there? What other news is going on right now? No, Paez to Strasbourg's not crazy. You know, he'll probably make his debut at the Club World Cup, and then we'll go from there. He'll probably make his debut at the Club World Cup, and we go from there, chat. We go from there. No, Sarr is a Chelsea player. The deal is all done. The deal is all done. Sarr is absolutely a Chelsea player. That's going to be announced very, very soon. That'll be announced very, very soon, chat. What else is going on, guys? What else is going on? Let's have a look. Let's have a look what else is going on in terms of other news. I mean, yeah, Ekatike. Oh, there's not really been anything new on Ekatike. Not really anything extra on Ekatike at the moment, chat. We've done Kudus, we've done Gittens, Madueke, we've done. Oh yeah, we can do Jerel Hato, chat, because that's another one who might be coming in. Let me just find it now. Because Chelsea have apparently held conversations with Jerel Hato over a potential move. Let me just bring this report up. Let's get this report up, chat. Right, here we are. Initial conversations between Chelsea's recruitment team and Ajax are believed to have already taken place for Jerel Hato. Chelsea see him as potential cover for Marc Cucurella. There's absolutely no doubt that we need cover for Marc Cucurella. Jerel Hato would certainly tick those boxes. It would allow Renato Vega to leave. He's a left back who can play at centre back. So if the right back inverts, he can slot in and play left side of a 3, which is important. Hato actually makes sense. Yes, he's only 19, but he's played over 100 games for Ajax already. He's got experience in European competition. He is a left back. This is actually a transfer that makes sense. And yes, we need a proper... Bro, how can you be saying that he's overrated? Bro, do you know how ridiculous you sound saying this, right? You're telling me that someone at 19 years of age who's played 111 games for Ajax is not good enough and overrated, but then you're also saying we should give Ish Samuel Smith a chance, who's not even kicked a ball at first team level for Chelsea. So what a ridiculous thing to say. Utterly nonsense. Utter nonsense, that statement is. Overrated and not good enough, and then you're saying to give someone a chance who's never kicked a ball for Chelsea instead. Bro, what you're saying is makes no sense. Yeah, he's got 6 caps for the Dutch as well. And yeah, look, this would be a sign that I'd be hugely on board with. It's a signing that absolutely makes sense. It 100% makes sense, chat. It really does. This is one that we should be all over. We should be all over and looking to get it done. All over and looking to get it done, chat. Absolutely we should. So, look, the fact that initial conversations have reportedly taken place, that's positive. But again, we are going to need a bit more. Cucurella is going to start most of the games. Of course he is. But we're going to be playing in 4 competitions, 60-odd games next season, possibly more. We're going to absolutely need more play. We're going to need options, We're going to need options. Cucurella would have played far less last season if there was a viable alternative to him. That's the reality here. He would have, if there was a viable alternative for Cucurella, he would have played less. He would have played less Cucurella, but there wasn't. Hato, it would be a great signing. It's absolutely a signing that makes a lot of sense. But why give those minutes? Why would you do that though? Why would you give those minutes to Smith? No, absolutely not signing as a centre back, but as a left back. Yeah, this under no circumstances should this be. This is not good. I'd be shocked if this was the centre back signing. This won't be the centre back signing. This will be the left back signing to provide backup to Kukurea, and then we move from there. So I've got no issue with this. Delap's done his medical. Delap's done his medical. All we're waiting for now is all we're waiting for now is the announcement on Delap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can play at centre back as well. However you want to phrase it, competition, an alternative, backup, whatever way you want to do it, it's a profile that we're lacking in the squad. Uh, uh, I mean, I don't know why people just make shit up in the chat. I don't even think that's an even is that even a real person? Yeah, mate, people enjoy putting fake news in the chat. Fair enough. Guys, 2 likes from 200 now. Run it up, run it up. We're still 250 in the building, which is fantastic. Great numbers again on the show today. Brilliant numbers on the show yet again, which is great, great news. Yeah, Hater could invert as well. Let's wait and see. But yeah, look, Hato for me is, yeah, that's going to be good. That would be a good signing. So let's wait and see if that happens. But ultimately, yeah, let's see what happens. Renato Vega will be sold. Renato Vega will be sold. I think it's pretty certain. Yeah, sure. Sterling has to come back though because it's the end of his loan. You know, Sterling is not obviously going to play a game for Chelsea again. You know, we know this is the case. We know Sterling's not going to play for the club again. So we wait and see. Vega will go because he wants to play centre back. He's not going to play centre back at Chelsea. Very, very simple. Vega will not play centre back at Chelsea, chat. Absolutely no chance. So he will be sold. Probably go to Juventus. I mean, this Carl Etta Eong is actually a real person. So fair enough. That is a real person. So it's not a so the player is not made up. It is a legit person. Obviously 21 years of age, of course. Let me see if there's actually anything on this guy on Twitter. Someone that works on Chiringuito. I mean, yeah. I don't know where he's going to go. But anyway, this Carl Etta Eong, this is according to El Chiringuito. Now, Chiringuito sometimes good with stuff, sometimes shit. But anyway, Marcelino, the Villarreal manager, does not count on Etta Eong, and Chelsea wants him to loan him to Strasbourg. The player prioritises staying. So basically, Chelsea want him to loan him to Strasbourg. That's the reality here. So they want him for Strasbourg. So this is not really a move for. This is not a move for Chelsea, chat. This is not a move for Chelsea. So there we go. Not a move for Chelsea. For who, though? I mean, Leao's not coming. But yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd get that out there. So whoever that was in the chat, not totally made up. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a Chelsea signing anyway. It would very much be a Strasbourg. It would very much be. Bro is done. Finished. He's gone. We know that he's gone, chat. We absolutely know he's gone. Big up to AK for the super chat. I really don't understand this club anymore. Bro, I find myself asking the same questions as you on occasion. I find myself asking the same questions. Sometimes very difficult to understand. Sometimes very difficult to understand. So, yeah. Let's see what else there is. But ultimately, yeah, but Sterling, of course he was going to... Arsenal were never going to sign Sterling on a permanent. Sterling was always going to return to Chelsea. I don't see why people are sort of thinking this Sterling thing is news. This Sterling thing isn't news, chat. This Sterling thing is not news. The Sterling thing's not news, so I don't really get it. Why are people losing their minds over that? No, absolutely not. Sterling's finished. I think he's Gilchrist will be loan or sold again. Alfred Gilchrist is not going to play for Chelsea next season. He'll be loaned or sold. I don't know where he'll go. I don't think Sterling's open to a move to Saudi. I'm not hearing anything or seeing anything that is suggesting that Sterling would be open to Saudi Arabia. I don't think that's going to be the case at all, chap. No, we're not wasting a loan spot on Sterling. Yeah, Sterling will be sold. Sterling will be sold this summer. And I don't know what fee we're going to get for him or who's going to be interested in him, but we just have to get those wages off the books. Simple as that. Get those wages off the books, chat. Yeah, we need another. We need another one. We do need another club in a multi-club model. Absolutely, chat. Absolutely. No, to be honest, the Ekatike news has been quiet for a couple of days. It's definitely been quiet for a couple of days on Ekitike. I don't know what really the latest is on that, other than Chelsea obviously aren't going to be prepared to pay Frankfurt's valuation. So we'll have to wait and see. There's a broad agreement in place on personal terms, but apparently his agent's trying to get the price down. Let's wait and see. Look, it's possible. It's possible. I don't know, but maybe we are. Maybe we are. I'm not sure, but it's a possibility which can't be ruled out. Yeah. Anyway. Mm. Gittens, apparently negotiations are going well. So yeah, we wait and see on that front. But apparently negotiations for Gittens are going well, chap. So yeah, we wait and see on that. Look, if I was a betting man, I would say that at most we'll have 2 deals wrapped up by the Club World Cup. So Delap's already done. I mean 2 more. So Gittens and Maignan. That's a best case scenario, chap. That by the 10th of June, we have Gittens and Delap. Sorry, Gittens and Maignan wrapped to add to Delap. So those 3 would then be available for the Club World Cup. I think that's the best case scenario for us. I think that's the best case scenario for us, chat. And yeah, we will we'll wait and see. We will wait and see on that. I don't think so. No, he's not part of the plans. So why do we bring someone along that we're going to sell? Literally makes no sense. I don't know. I think you're pushing it a bit on Hato. I think you're pushing it a bit on Jerel Hato. I have to say. I think there's a bit of a stretch on Hato, but who knows? Bro, even when they announce him, though, I don't think they're going to announce what the shirt number is. So regardless, like they won't have a shirt number announced for him unless they're doing all the pictures and stuff. But even then, he'll just be holding up the shirt. I don't think they'll announce his squad number in the actual announcement. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know the exact answer. Nah, bro, Delap's done. Delap's done. Medical contract signed. We're just waiting for the official announcement. I don't know why Chelsea are waiting so long to make the announcement, but they're waiting for the announcement. We are waiting for the announcement, sorry. We're waiting. Well, it could be, but now that Sancho's gone, I mean, he was number 9. Delap was 19 at Ipswich, and the 19 is now available at Chelsea. Let's just give him the 19 again. I've got absolutely no idea. No idea. Absolutely no idea, chat. But anyway, we are going to round this one out now. No, Hato will not be a Strasbourg signing. That will be a Chelsea signing. Absolutely, Hato will be a Chelsea signing. I hope so, mate. I hope so. But there's a part of me that just feels like we could potentially fumble it. given what's happened previously. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, chat, I'm going to round this one out. Big up to everyone that's tuned in, as always. Another top show. Big love for all the support. These shows aren't anything without you guys, so I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you're smashing up the likes on the way out. Please subscribe if you're new around here on the way out as well. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon, chat. I'll be back later on if there's any major developments. If not, I will see all you lot tomorrow. Let's see what the next 24 hours has got in store for us. Enjoy the rest of your days, guys. Madness as always. Imagine not being Chelsea. Up the Chelsea, and we're out, people. Peace.